How's it going, guys? Been a while. Been meaning to do this for quite some time. I think the last time that we did this action figure and comic book talk was back in like May of 22. Meant to do it like in November, December. Just didn't happen, so here we are now. But we got a lot to cover. I think, as always, we're going to start with the action figure talk. You might have already seen a lot of these through my pictures throughout the last couple of months. I'm not going to take too much time in regards to that and just dive right into the figures, brief thoughts, go into the books, because I have definitely read and accrued a lot of comics since May. So, without further ado, some of the quick shout-outs in the figure spectrum will be to number 1, Mafex Black Suit Spider-Man. I mean, not much to say in regards to this figure except that it's badass. I mean, a lot of people were anticipating it, and so was I. Doesn't disappoint. I really like it. There we go. That's it. Next set. This series I was really hesitant to get into just because I had a couple of figures from the original releases of the line, which is the Naruto Figuarts. I had like Minato, I had Sage Naruto, and Sasuke from his battle with Itachi, and I didn't really see that line going anywhere, so after a couple of years, I sold all the figures that I had minus Kakashi. So when I saw that this line was going to get revitalized, as mentioned, I was pretty hesitant to go back into it just because I wasn't sure if it was going to die off again. Luckily, that doesn't seem to be the case. So with that, of course, your boy Naruto. Got 3 of him. I'd like to get 2 more, but solid figure, lots of expressive face plates. Brings his Rasengan. Really love it. Followed by Sasuke. Also love this figure. I mean, the faceplates on all of these are just so expressive. I really can't get enough of them. I initially thought the hands looked a little too big on the characters, but I think I've grown accustomed to it, so I'm just kind of like not thinking too much of it per se. But Sasuke, really love this guy. Plastic, what's up? Also brings the Chidori effect piece. I did notice that if you have the Lightning Collection Power Ranger, some of those figures will obviously bring effect pieces as well. There are some effect pieces that work well with this guy. Actually, I'll just take it right now. I think I have it in the box. It's a blue effect piece that kind of like wraps around the sword, and yeah, here we go. This works really well with Sasuke's weapon. So if you have that and haven't given it a shot for photography or just posing for fun, I recommend it. Really solid. And of course you have Sakura. Solid figure as well. Brings 5 expressive faces just like the boys. And I am looking forward to getting Kakashi within the next month or so. So we'll go from there. As well as the pre-orders for the kid versions of Naruto and Sasuke. Solid. I really hope that this line continues to thrive. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the praise on the home. Yeah, we are super excited to be here. I mean, look at this. Look at this space. It's fantastic. Moving along with the figure purchases, a lot of Vegetas. So, between official releases with Bandai and Demoniacal Fit, I think I've got at least 3 Vegetas. Starting off with the Super Saiyan 3 version, or in this case, the Royal Blood figure. Now, I think prior to this guy, I only had 1 Demoniacal Fit figure, which was the Goku Black, which I thought was kind of loose in some aspects. But this guy right here is fantastic. At least as far as I recall, I haven't opened him in a while, but I didn't think that he had any loose pieces or joints, etc. I thought his head sculpt held up pretty nicely, so I do recommend getting this guy along with the deep blue counterpart, or Evolve Super Saiyan Blue, whatever you want to call it. I mean, this figure is also solid. Did not experience any breakage, loose joints, anything of that nature. Solid figure. Paint job is insane. I mean, between this guy and this guy, the faceplates on them are just so crisp. They look really, really, really good. So, if you're having doubts on like a third-party company, I just say go for it. Just give it a shot. You might be surprised. I mean, I sure was. And the last Vegeta, of course, being Super Saiyan 4. Now, I know a lot of people aren't fans of GT. I mean, even now, if I were to rewatch it, I'd say it's pretty bad. But it holds a soft spot in my heart. So, of course, Super Saiyan 4, Vegeta, Goku, what have you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hey, how's it going, man? Yes, we are doing well. Thank you. Miss you too, man. Hope we get to go to Puerto Rico sometime soon again, but we'll see when the next time is. But yeah, in regards to the figures, those are the ones that I've really wanted to just like highlight that I've really enjoyed working with. So yeah, I guess we'll move into the books now. A lot of these, as mentioned, I haven't done a live since like May, so I have read a lot, but not all of them. So I'm just gonna go over what I have read, my thoughts on it. If I haven't read it, I'll just give a brief synopsis of like the back of what it collects. But it's a bunch of Omnis, like as you can see right here. So first off, and a lot of these, I'm gonna give Target a plug, or purchase through Target. I, at this point, tend to wait for Target to do their buy two, get one free sales, which they generally tend to do along holidays. So I'll just do bulk orders of books, which is either a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, we'll see moving forward. So number one, we have Parker, the Martini Edition, Volume 1. So this is published by IDW. It is done by, the art is done by Darwin Cook. The books are from the Richard Stark novels, which are like crime noir type books. If you like your Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips type of stuff, those books are kind of like in that same vein. So I really recommend not only reading novels, but reading these. I haven't read it yet, but like I said, I have been reading the novels for quite some time. So we have Volume 1, as well as Volume 2, also published by IDW. Now keep in mind, these are actually much bigger than an omnibus or deluxe edition hardcover. These stand really tall. They don't even fit into one of the slots inside the Kallax unit. So I have to keep these just on top of it, being like bordered by two Broly statues so that they don't fall over. But solid books, oversized print, fabulous. So there's that. Next, we have Fullmetal Alchemist, Volume 17 and 18. Now, I think I touched on this previously. I have already watched the original anime, as well as Brotherhood, which is the adaptation version of the manga. I hadn't read the manga before, but I was waiting to get the last couple of volumes for these, which I did. Read it. I mean, it's solid. Loved it. Nothing really to go further on, except if you haven't read Full Metal manga or watched Brotherhood specifically, do it. Highly recommend it. But yeah, got the last 2 volumes. Read it all in one go, which is what I was planning once I had the full set to just go from there and binge read it. So, have the full set of these guys right there. All right, now, next couple things I haven't read, but I still want to talk about it just because it's on the shelf and I do plan on reading it in the future. So, we have Moon Knight, this is Volume 2. Moon Knight, here we go. Volume 1. So, this collects Werewolf by Night, 1972. Numbers 32-33, Marvel Spotlight of 1971, 28 through 29. Defenders of 72, 47 through 50. Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man, 76. Numbers 22 through 23. Marvel 2-in-1 of 74, number 52. Moon Knight from 80, numbers 1 through 20. Marvel Team Up Annual of 76, number 4. Amazing Spider-Man of 63, number 220. And material from Defenders, 1972, number 51. Hulk Magazine, 1978, 11 through 15, 17 through 18, and 20. And Marvel Preview, 1975, number 21. So, I mean, it's still shrink wrapped. Like I said, haven't read this yet. I plan to. Number 2 right here. Damn, that's a lot of stuff back here. Well, I'm going to go through quick, like I said. So, Volume 2, Moon Knight Original Year stuff. Collects Moon Knight 1980, number 21 through 38. Iron Man 1968, number 161. Power Man and Iron Fist 1978, number 87. Marvel Team Up 1972, number 144. Moon Knight 1985, numbers 1 through 6. Marvel Fanfare 1982, number 30. And material from Solo Avengers number 3, Marvel Fanfare 1982, numbers 38 through 39. And Marvel Superheroes 1990, number 1. So, a lot of classic issues. I did pick these up. I believe that the Disney Plus show was still airing at the time, and having really enjoyed it, I picked these up, as well as the next book right here. The third Moon Knight Omni. Houston Benson Hurwitz. This collects Moon Knight 2006, numbers 1 through 30. Moon Knight Annual 2007, number 1. Moon Knight Silent Night. Vengeance of the Moon, numbers 1 through 10. And Shadowland Moon Knight, number 1 through 3. I did open this one up just to get a look at the art, and I know I'm going to enjoy it quite a bit. I mean, it just looks gritty, dark. Flipping through it right now. Just fantastic. I think I got sidetracked between this and Daredevil. So, my own fault, but I did read a lot of Daredevil. So, between that and, let me see here. I think the last session that I did, I had already read the Daredevil by Bendis, volumes 1 and 2. So, since then, I did acquire the Brubaker volumes 1 and 2, which I'll just go ahead and pull out right now. Bear with me. Alright, so we have Daredevil, Volume 1 by Brubaker. This collects Daredevil 82 through 105, simple as that. Followed by Volume 2, collecting Daredevil 106 through 119 and 500, as well as Daredevil Annual number 1 and Daredevil Blood of the Tarantula. So, I was on a kick for Daredevil. Read the Marvel Knights, read the Bendis run, picked up Volume 1 since it had just been reprinted in May, I believe it was, and I was able to find Volume 2 on OfferUp. A gentleman was selling it along with the original printing of Volume 1, but since I had just gotten Volume 1 a couple weeks prior, I inquired if he would just sell me the second book on its own, and luckily enough, he did. So, read those. Super good. I cannot wait to continue reading it. Sadly, the next couple of stories are out of print. So we have the Shadowland Omnibus, as well as, what was after that? The Mark Waid volumes 1 and 2. So I'll get those eventually, but as of right now, I have way too much to read back here, so I'm just going to put that on pause for the meantime. But these are solid. I cannot wait for them to also make a Mafex figure, fingers crossed, for Daredevil, because damn, it's just too good. Too good. Alright, let's see. I guess in the same vein, I had, well, not in the same vein, but speaking of Marvel, I had read the Jason Aaron Volume 1 Omnibus. My buddy Jason gifted it to me for my birthday last year. Read through that. Looking forward to Volume 2. I mean, I really, really liked it. It's my first Thor story. So in regards to that, I went ahead and picked up another Thor Omnibus, which I have not read yet. But here it is. Needless to say, it is a big book. So this is Thor by Matt Fraction. Collecting Thor, Ages of Thunder, Thor, Reign of Blood, Thor, Man of War, Secret Invasion, Thor 1 through 3, Thor, God Size, Special Number 1, Free Comic Book Day 2010, Thor 2007, numbers 615 through 621, and 620.1, The Mighty Thor 2011, numbers 1 through 22, and 12.1, Fear Itself 2011, numbers 1 through 7, Fear Itself 7.2, Thor Journey into Mystery 2011, numbers 642 through 644, and The Mighty Thor Annual 2012, number 1. Shrink wrapped. Haven't read this yet. Haven't looked through the art. I'm trying to keep it just books sealed at this point, unless I plan on actually reading it. I mean, if I am really interested in it, I'll go ahead and just open it, flip through it, but I really rather just keep them sealed up until I decide to actually read it at this point. So can't really touch too much on this, but can't wait for this. So I'll go back. And one of the next books that I did actually read, we have Justice League Volume 2, New 52. This is a story that I had read years ago when it was coming out. Single issues, weekly. This is on my pull list. I really, really liked it. So when they announced that they were coming out with Omnis for these books, I, of course, had to get it. So I went ahead and reread this. Still solid story. Really, really enjoy anything that Jeff Johns writes. So this bad boy, let's see, collects Forever Evil numbers 1 through 7, Justice League 23.4 and 24 through 50, Justice League of America 7.4, DC Sneak Peek number 1, Justice League Darkseid War, Batman number 1, as well as Flash number 1, Superman number 1, Green Lantern number 1, Shazam number 1, and Lex Luthor number 1. Justice League Darkseid War Special number 1, and DC Universe Rebirth number 1. So, as you may have noticed, it does not collect issues 51 or 52 of its entirety of the New 52 run. I don't exactly know why that was. I didn't really look too much into it. But if you're a completionist, the fact that those are not in here might bother you. Doesn't really bother me. I honestly don't even remember what they contained, but it must not have fit into what was needed or required to collect this in its entirety right here. But with that being said, it is a solid book, super thick as well. Highly recommend this one, especially for beginners, just like looking into jumping, some kind of jumping on point. Alrighty, so the rest of these I'm just going to go ahead and get them out of the way because I haven't read any of them, and they're just like straight up X-Men books. I picked up a lot of X-Men books with the intent of reading those first, followed by Daredevil, and then maybe something else along the way, like Moon Knight. Daredevil just took the reins, and I wasn't looking back. So, we have the original classic X-Men, Volume 2. I think I had already picked up Volume 1 and talked about its contents in the last session that I did. So this collects X-Men or The X-Men 32 through 66, The Avengers 53, and material from Kazar 2 to 3, and Marvel Tales 30. So that's all that's in here. Shrink wrapped. We'll read. Like I said, I'm gonna fly through the next couple of the next books right here because they're all X-Men, all stuff that I haven't read, but we'll read eventually. Alright. Next we have The Uncanny X-Men Volume 3. Collecting Uncanny X-Men 154 through 175, the X-Men Annual 6 through 7, Special Edition X-Men number 1, Marvel Graphic Novel 5, Wolverine 1 through 4, and Magic 1 through 4. So between this one and the next book, which is going to be, well, surprise, surprise, Uncanny X-Men Volume 4. This one contains Uncanny X-Men 176 through 193, X-Men Annual 8, Kitty Pryde and Wolverine 1 through 6, X-Men and Alpha Flight 1 through 2, and Marvel Fanfare 40. So these were, I guess, the older printings, so they don't have like the little logo on the bottom. So by the time I had picked up in volumes 1 and 2, those had the newer printing, which has a logo on the bottom. And now I have these, so they're not going to match up, which is unfortunate, but I mean, to hell with it. I already have some mismatched stuff, I mean, between the Daredevil and some of the other spines, so it's kind of whatever. But, got these right here. What's going on, man? Missed just a quick review of some of the figures that I got throughout the last couple of months, as well as some of the other books that I've read or haven't read, like Moon Knight, some of the X-Men titles, Parker Martini Edition, Swim of the Alchemist. So you're still early because I have a lot of crap that I still haven't talked about. So you're good. You're good. Okay, so continuing with X-Men that I haven't read at all, we have X-Men Mutant Massacre. Man, do I really want to go through this? Yeah. Oh, okay. I already committed myself to reading the back of it. So, collecting Uncanny X-Men 210 to 219, and Annual number 11, X Factor 9 through 17, and Annual Z. Interesting. New Mutants 46, Thor 373 and 374, and 377 through 378. Power Pack number 27. Actually, no, I think that was a 2. Annual number 2, not Z. Never mind. Daredevil 238, Fantastic Four versus the X-Men 1 through 4, and X-Men versus the Avengers 1 through 4. So, shrink wrapped. Boom, boom. There we go. We have Fall of Mutants right here. We have collecting X Factor 18 through 26. Uncanny X-Men 220 through 227, New Mutants 55 through 61, Incredible Hulk 336 through 337 and 340, Power Pack 35, and Daredevil 252, Captain America 339, and Fantastic Four 312. Oh yeah, Fall of Mutants right here. This one's out. It's out of order. Oh, I could have sworn it was. Maybe I put it on the shelf out of order when I was unpacking stuff. My fault. All right. Well, here it is. All right. So we have those, and what else did I get in regards to X-Men? I think that might be it. Yeah, I think I already had the rest of them before this. Okay. So next off, we have. Let's see. All right. 4-5 Fall, then Massacre. Okay. Let me reorganize this. Fall, then Massacre. Okay. I'll make sure to put that on the shelf correctly now. Alright, so the next books we have are Aliens, the original years, now under Marvel imprint. So this collects Aliens 1 through 6, Aliens 1 through 4. So this goes from 88, then 89, followed by Aliens Earth War 1 through 4, Aliens Genocide 1 through 4, Aliens Hive 1 through 4, Aliens Tribes, Aliens Noose Tale 1 through 2, Alien 3 1 through 3, and Alien Space Marines 1 through 12, plus material from Dark Horse Presents 86, number 24, 42 through 43, and 56. And Dark Horse Presents 5th Anniversary Special and Dark Horse Insider 89, numbers 14 through 27. So, this right here, yeah, I double dipped. That's actually what I was going to talk about. So I wouldn't, even before I picked these up, I had looked at the stories that are, let me pull this out right here. In these books right here. So we have Aliens, the original comic series from Dark Horse, as well as Aliens, Nightmare Asylum, and Earth War, also from Dark Horse. Now, these two books alone were just a portion, if I recall correctly, of what's in this first omnibus. Just a portion. Everything else, I don't think Dark Horse printed in deluxe hardcover format, as far as I'm aware. So a lot of the stuff that's in here I still haven't actually read, which means anything in Volume 2 I haven't read, or anything in Volume 3 for that matter. I think the past Volume 1, the stuff that I read for Aliens was collected in Volume 4 because that was some of the newer stuff, but I haven't actually picked Volume 3 up, and Volume 4 is still on pre-order. So, getting back to Volume 2. Alright. So with that being said, Volume 2, I have not read anything in here. So Volume 2 Omni. Collecting Aliens Rogue 1 through 4. Oh, might I add though, a good chunk of them, I did read their novel formats. This is before Marvel had picked up the licenses to make these Omnis, and I was trying to get my Alien fix, and I wasn't sure really where or what was the best way, so they were coming out with novels and dubbing them omnibuses. They were just little thick trade paperbacks. So even though I haven't read the comic adaptations of some of the stories that are contained here, I did read the novel versions, such as the one that I just mentioned, Rogue 1 through 4, read that. Aliens Labyrinth 1 through 4, read that. And I think Music of the Spears 1 through 4, I did read that. Colonial Marines 1 through 10, Salvation, Stronghold 1 through 4, and material from Dark Horse Comics 3 through 5, 11 through 13, and 15 through 19. Previews from 1 through 12, 1993, as well as previews 1994 number 1, and Aliens Magazine 1992, 9 through 20. So, this is fantastic. I mean, I'm looking forward to reading these, as well as the Predator stories when they actually do. Oh no, Volume 1 of Predator is actually already out. So, I'll have to get that soon. Alright. Put these back on the shelf. Alright. So, I'm gonna take a sip of this coffee real quick. Alright, let's see here. Okay. So I think we'll go Spidey now. So in regards to Spider-Man, I did pick up quite a few different titles mixed around. So, let's see. Did I get this one? Okay, so we have... Oh yeah, I did get Volume 1, that's right. Alright, The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1 reprint. So, I did open this up, I just couldn't resist looking through the classic stories, trying to get some ideas maybe for photography. So I did open this guy up. Reprint, so it's got the little images down here. So it's going to look nice on the shelf with the rest of them that are in uniform. So this collects Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 38 and Annual 1 through 2 and material from Amazing Fantasy 15, Strange Tales Annual 2, and the Fantastic Four Annual 1. So this has all the classic stuff right here. I also picked up Volume 2 off eBay. Someone was selling them as a set with volumes, I think like 3 and 5. Already had those. Messaged him. He was more than willing to sell it by itself, and it's a new one, so it has a nice little image right here. Hence why it's going to match up with the rest of them right there. So this collects Amazing Spider-Man 39 through 67 and Annual 3 through 5, and the Spectacular Spider-Man numbers 1 through 2. I am looking forward to doing a deep dive of these. I had initially, I don't know, there were the Masterworks. I had a couple of the older paperbacks that collected these way back when as well for Daredevil, and I was trying to read them. Kind of a tough read, you know, being so old and what have you, but I'm going to try to push through it this time around. That way I have that knowledge for the good stuff in here. So, putting these back on the shelf. Alright, so our next set of books, we have The Amazing Spider-Man by JMS, Volume 1 and Volume 2. This is Volume 1 right now. So, did read this, loved it. Hence why I got Volume 2 so quickly. And Volume 2 was out of print, but managed to snag it for a pretty decent price. Anyway, Volume 1. Collecting Amazing Spider-Man from 1999, numbers 30 through 58, number 500 through 514, and 509 Director's Cut. Very nice book. Awesome stories. Let's have the 9/11 issue in here, as well as some other key stuff. I think first appearance of many characters all together. Don't know what I want to say, just in case anyone hasn't actually read the run, but fantastic. Nonetheless, fantastic. Volume 2. I just have the dust jacket since, like I said, I'm currently reading this one right now. This collects Spider-Man 1999, numbers 515 through 545, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man 2005, numbers 1 through 4 and 24, Marvel Knight Spider-Man 2004, numbers 19 through 22, Sensational Spider-Man 2006, number 41, Spider-Man The Other Sketchbook, and Spider-Man One More Day Sketchbook. This also includes, amongst the stuff that I just read, yeah, it was kind of a bad issue, yeah. I don't know, I guess I was looking, I think I had heard so much about that issue that I was looking forward to. I was like, oh, it must be really good, but it was kind of just like, eh. But regardless, it wasn't. It was part of the story, so here we go. So Volume 2 includes all the Civil War stuff as well, which I was really looking forward to reading. I feel like it has a lot of dialogue, kind of unnecessary sometimes, but with that being said, still pretty cool. Here's some of the back covers you can see right there. So there's that one. I'm about halfway through that second book right now, and at the same time I'm currently replaying the Spider-Man PS4 on PS5, so that's a lot of fun, especially using the Iron Spider suit. Alright, next up, we have Spider-Man by Todd McFarlane. Now, I had already picked this up months ago, but I did read it recently, hence why I'm just going to touch base on it real quick. So this is Spider-Man by Todd McFarlane, numbers 1 through 4, and 16, and X-Force number 4. Pretty thin Omni, as you can see. I think I read this in like 2 or 3 hours. It didn't really take me that long, but It was pretty solid. I mean, I did like the first handful of issues with the lizard and what have you. What do they call the Torment? I did enjoy the crossover with Wolverine and the Wendigo and whatnot. I thought those are pretty good stories as well. Just solid stories. Yeah, that did make me laugh as well. So, here's this one. Alright, this is also another one that I had picked up prior to the last session, but I recently reread this. I had already read the entirety of Ultimate Spider-Man years ago and loved it. So, releasing in Omni format, they had only released Volume 1 many years ago. I think it was some kind of Barnes & Noble exclusive book, and that was it, and they just like cut it off. So, Volume 1 has come back, reprinted. Volume 2 just came out, I believe, a couple weeks ago, and Volume 3 is up for pre-order. So, this collects Ultimate Spider-Man numbers 1 through 39, and the half issue. If you have not read Ultimate Spider-Man, I highly recommend it. Such a good jumping on point for people. Oh my god. Picked up Volume 2 of Ultimate Spider-Man, waiting for another reprint. You didn't get Volume 1? Oh. Recommend it. It's just get it as soon as you can. Alright, so there's this guy. In that same vein, we have Ultimate Spider-Man Miles Morales Volume 1. This is a reprint as well. They're titling it differently and what have you. But this collects Ultimate Comic Spider-Man numbers 1 through 28 and 16.1, Spider-Man 1 through 5, Cataclysm Ultimate Spider-Man 1 through 3, Ultimate Spider-Man 200, Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man 1 through 12, and material from Fallout number 4. So, already read this, as I mentioned, through the entirety of the Ultimate Spider-Man run of the original. So, gonna look forward to reading this once I get the other copies of Peter Parker's run that leads into this. But this, solid stories. Solid. Alright, so this is one of my more recent books. I had read the single issues when they came out years ago. I think I had the paperbacks, missed out on the deluxe version, or oversized deluxe, because I was surprised it was so big. Anyway, out of print, got a copy. We have Tokyo Ghosts. Remender Murphy, really good story. Like I said, this came out years ago, but I needed this for my collection now with hardcovers. So this collects the entirety of their Tokyo Ghost run. I will have to reread this because it's been many years, but solid stuff. I think I still have a couple of signed issues from when I met him at Sean Murphy at Comic-Con 2018 in New York. So solid stuff right here. Alright. This is not a... Wait, what? Is Tokyo Ghost? Oh no! No! Don't tell me Tokyo Ghost. I didn't know it's getting reprinted. I feel like every time that I buy something that's out of print, it gets announced, or I find out like shortly after that it's gonna get reprinted. I'm like, fuck, why? I didn't pay a lot, not a lot for it. I think like maybe $10, $15 more off cover price, and the book is in excellent condition, so I'm okay. I think the same thing happened when Gotham Central, was coming out, Gotham Central was coming out, like, I got it off eBay, and then you were like, it's getting reprinted, like, in 3 months, and I was like, fuck! Anyway, fine. Next off, we have Batman Long Shadows. This is a standard edition hardcover, but I wanted this nonetheless because it bridges the gap between Battle for the Cowl, as well as Life After Death, Eye of the Beholder, stories that are like done by Tony Daniel, are not in omnibus format yet, and are super good. So I managed to get this just cover price, $20, out of print hardcover, and I had seen this for a lot, like triple the price. So the fact that they were selling it for standard on eBay, Could not pass it up. So, good stuff right here. I mean, it's Dick Grayson as Batman. Like, that's phenomenal. There's some good artwork and panels. Yeah. All right. All right. We have Pulp by Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips. I had the standard edition hardcover. When this was coming out, I was like, do I really need this? Yes, I do. I mean, the story itself is relatively short, and the rest of this hardcover is like behind the scenes, like the storyboarding and art process and whatnot. But, I mean, if you're a fan of Brubaker, Sean Phillips, definitely pick this up. Any of their stories are phenomenal. Just like top tier. Really, really good. Cowboy kind of story that transitions to more modern era afterwards. I don't want to go too deep in it. It's like anything that they do is super good, and just take my word that you have to read this. Which leads me into their more recent story, Follow Me Down, which is a part of their Reckless series. Now, this is book 5 in that series, standard edition hardcover. I am hoping they do a deluxe, oversized one at some point. I mean, I'll buy it. I don't care. I already have them standard edition. I don't care. I will swap them out for the bigger ones. Like, don't care right now. But really good story. Like I said, anything that these guys do, just pick it up, read it. You will not be disappointed. We have Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin. I really tried to avoid spoilers for this, and luckily enough, I did avoid them. Really good story. Takes place in a future where just bad shit happens to New York. And, yeah, don't want to go into this either. Like I said, I avoided spoilers. I don't want to spoil it for anybody that has not read this, but if you are a Ninja Turtles fan, definitely pick up this book. It's definitely worth it. We have Once and Future Volume 1 Deluxe Hardcover. Yeah, they don't really seem to be reprinting a lot of their stuff. Well, they did the Sleeper Omnibus, and I do have to get that. I have the paperbacks for it. But, yeah, a lot of their stuff they haven't reprinted. I was lucky to get the Fatale books like 2 years ago for a pretty decent price on eBay. But Once and Future is like a King Arthur kind of story in modern times. Monsters, magic, etc. Read this a couple months ago. Looking forward to Volume 2 hardcover coming out at some point. But it was pretty solid. Art's really nice. Kind of gives off like almost like a... I wouldn't call it anime vibe, but it's just really, really aesthetically pleasing, the art. So, this is solid. You can find this for, I think it's still pretty cheap on Amazon, but it was good. I liked it a lot. Alrighty. Well, I'm not really sure there's anything else that I haven't already covered. I was trying to speed run through this, not take up a lot of people's time and be on here like for almost 2 hours like my last session. But yeah, other than that, I did read a couple of stories online, which included the Detective Comics New 52 run. I read that in its entirety online. Pretty solid stuff. I would like to see that collected. Pretty dark and gritty stories with characters that you don't normally, or at least I don't recall normally seeing in mainline stories like Mad Hatter, Man Bat, etc. But yeah. Slipcase edition, worth the extra 20. Yeah. I guess so. I seen it in person once, I think at a Bookman's in Phoenix, but I think it was ridiculously overpriced, so I passed on it. I was like, let me just get this for the cheaper version. So I was cool with that. yeah, I don't think there's much else to go over. Like I said, did a little speed run there, especially since a lot of the books I hadn't read at all just yet. So I will get to reading them, and I'll pull up a little list of stuff to go over next time, and we'll go from there in a couple more months. So you can see, new space, lots of room and what have you for all my books, as well as I have the display cases. I think I put up a picture of that. And yeah, oh yeah, Green Lantern, absolutely. We need some Green Lantern Omnis ASAP. I need them, please. What, the figures? Oh, I'll show you the figures that I talked about. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, Deep Blue Vegeta, and like the Naruto figures and whatnot. But those are the main ones that I talked about earlier if you missed it. But these are the ones that I really, really like that I've gotten in the last couple of months. But with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll go ahead and go over another little panel type of thing in a couple months, and we'll go from there. See you soon. Bye.